Coming up on Mountain News this morning, the Commonwealth lost one of its greats yesterday with the death of Coach Roy Kidd. And a World War II veteran is visiting the nation's capital to attend an honor flight.
Dedicated to Eastern and Southern Kentucky, this is WYMT Mountain News this morning.
Good morning, I'm Olivia Calfee. The time is 5:32 on September 13th. Now let's check in with Chief Forecaster Brandon Robinson for a look at your forecast this morning. And Brandon, a little bit of sprinkles this morning, but sunshine headed later today, and it looks like a great end of the week.
I know. I'm just so ready for the next 3 or 4 days because I just need some sun.
Me too.
Just need to soak up some vitamin D. I'm ready for it.
Oh yeah.
Especially with the cooler temperatures. I'm ready for that more than anything.
Just go stand outside and like.
Exactly. Just exactly. All right, let's get into it this morning. We still got some fog, some clouds, and some drizzle sprinkles to deal with. Somerset looking okay this morning downtown as we take a look. 63 down that way. The cold front still hasn't passed through our region, so temperatures will drop past their usual coldest part of the day at 7 o'clock. Probably to around 9 o'clock this morning. That's when we expect it to. You see that blue back off in the distance there past Louisville? That's where the temperatures have dropped. So I'd say we'll get into the upper 50s and low 60s before it's all said and done. We're still in the upper 50s and low to mid 60s across parts there. You see those 50s back towards Cincinnati, Owensboro, Carbondale. I think that's where we're headed before we start to rebound a little bit today back into the mid 70s. So it's going to be a fantastic end of the day after a not so good start to the day. Temperatures again drop through about 9 o'clock, and then they'll stabilize this afternoon as the sky's clear and the sun comes out. The rest of that forecast coming up here in just a few minutes. Olivia?
All right, Brandon, thank you. Legendary former Eastern Kentucky University football coach Roy Kidd died yesterday. The Hall of Fame coach died in Richmond at the age of 91. Kidd was a Corbin native and played football and baseball at what was then Eastern Kentucky State University from 1950 until 1953. He went on to coach high school before becoming the head football coach at EKU for 39 years, from 1964 to 2002. He won 2 national titles, 16 Ohio Valley Conference titles, and 315 games. Current EKU head coach Walt Wells says Coach Kidd will be greatly missed.
A process that everybody has to go through. We're going to miss Coach. We're going to miss him a lot. We've already missed him being around in the last 6 months or so. You know, his wit, his smile, his knowledge, obviously his love for EKU. It's a really sad day.
The university announced Kidd's funeral arrangements yesterday afternoon. His visitation will be this Sunday from 4 p.m. to 7 p.m., while his funeral will be on Monday at 11 a.m. Both will take place at the EKU Center for the Arts. According to EKU's website, in lieu of flowers, the family asked that donations be made in his honor to the Roy and Sue Kidd Endowed Scholarship at Eastern Kentucky University. The impact of Kidd's legacy stretches far wider than the football field. Eastern Kentucky University President David McFadden was once the student sports information director and got to experience Coach Kidd's later years. McFadden and Senate President Robert Stivers spoke about what Kidd meant to the university and the Corbin community yesterday during an event in Manchester.
Coach Kidd's mentality to expect excellence, to have pride in what you do every day, to be proud to be an EKU Colonel, permeates the entire campus. It goes much further than the football field. It truly defines who we are as an institution. I think he was a living embodiment of what it meant to be a colonel.
Then went on to be very successful, recruiting numerous people from this area that played for him when the program was one of the best 2A programs in the nation. So it is a great loss to have lost Coach Kidd this past few days.
McFadden says Coach Kidd's impact will be felt for generations to come, and they will celebrate the things he did for his institution. Love for Coach Kidd is pouring in throughout social media, including from state leaders. Governor Andy Beshear weighed in on Facebook yesterday morning, saying he will be remembered for his impact on the students he coached and supported, adding that he is praying for the Kidd and EKU family. Attorney General Daniel Cameron also made a post on Facebook saying Kentucky lost one of its greats. He added, "Kids showed us the values of working hard and persevering on and off the field." More than 2 decades have passed since Coach Kidd held the clipboard at EKU, but people in Richmond say they've never forgotten all he did for their city and university. Kelsey Soto sat down with those who worked alongside him and former players who say there will never be another Roy Kidd.
The flags droop and the clouds sag as Central Kentucky remembers larger-than-life Coach Roy Kidd, the man who restored hope and breathed new life into EKU football.
My name is not etched in granite nowhere. My name is not aloft in the Coliseum or the stadium, but he made me feel that I could be as good as anybody I played with.
It was a tough balancing act, juggling a winning program, a family, and other commitments, but colleagues and players say he made sure you knew he cared.
He was a forgiver.
Lessons never lost on anyone who crossed his path.
Back in the day, they were a smash mouth play team, and they hit you hard, and they played every down, and he instilled that in them. And I kind of think that carried over to this community.
Howard Miller played for Coach Kidd in the 70s. He'd grown up hearing about the influential coach at Madison Central, who was taking young African-American men under his wing.
He was giving them hope. He was giving them the inspiration that they could do anything in this world with hard work. And I used to hear them talk about this guy like he was something special.
Miller then returned years later to become the team's career coach and chaplain.
My rings, they're not for flash. These rings represent my first church, which was my chaplainship as a colonel.
Now those former players will begin to wander back, paying their respects, because there is no greater place than that cabin on the hill.
Roy Kidd was born in Corbin in 1931, the youngest of 7 siblings. He is survived by his wife, Sue. They were married for 62 years. They had 3 children. Kidd would have celebrated his 92nd birthday in December. A manhunt for a murder suspect prompted the Lee County, Virginia Sheriff's Office to issue a shelter-in-place order for the Ewing and Wheeler area of Lee County. Folks are asked to stay indoors and keep the doors locked. The search is still ongoing after a man was reportedly involved in a deadly shooting in Claiborne County, Tennessee. The suspect, whose name has not been released, is 5'6", bald with a beard and several tattoos, and is considered armed and extremely dangerous. Deputies say they chased him from Claiborne County into Lee County, Virginia. As a precaution, all Lee County, Virginia public schools will be closed today. A Wayne County father is in custody charged with assault and criminal abuse. In a criminal complaint, investigators say Saeed Rees brought his son to the hospital after reporting the child had fallen. The criminal complaint says the boy was transported to UK Children's Hospital with serious injuries. Doctors say the child had multiple skull fractures along with other injuries. Investigators claim a fall would not have caused those injuries. A Laurel County man has been arrested after leading sheriff deputies on a chase. 22-year-old Lincoln Isaiah Hamblin was reportedly seen driving recklessly on a motorcycle going north on US 25 from the Hal Rogers Parkway intersection last Sunday. Hamblin continued toward Old Richmond Road when a sheriff's deputy tried to stop him. Hamblin was eventually pulled over and is facing multiple charges. He was taken to the Laurel County Correctional Center. A Corbin woman was taken into custody after she was reportedly found with suspected meth and digital scales. The Laurel County Drug Interdiction Task Force arrested 40-year-old Margaret A. Sanderson Sunday morning about 12 miles south of London. Sanderson also had a district court complaint warrant against her. After conducting a traffic stop, deputies found a large amount of suspected meth and digital scales. Sanderson faces multiple charges. The KDE is getting ready to host the 2024 Kentucky Teacher of the Year ceremony, and we do have one teacher in the area vying for that honor. Winners of the elementary, middle, and high school teacher awards, along with the overall 2024 Teacher of the Year, will be announced. The event is today at 10:30 a.m. at the state capitol in Frankfort. Hazard Independent's Luke Glazer will look to try to bring home the honors for Eastern Kentucky. An honor flight this Saturday will send a group of veterans to Washington, D.C. to see the war memorials. That includes Fred Hall, a 96-year-old World War II veteran from Floyd County. He is honored to be going because he knows some veterans do not get this opportunity.
And I'm honoring all the veterans. I know they need all the honor they can get because they deserve everything that they can possibly get.
Fred will be the only World War II veteran on the flight Saturday and says it will be a lifelong dream to visit the nation's capital. Coming up, a nursing home received an unexpected guest, one so friendly they decided to keep him.
I actually saw that story on TikTok the other day. The gloom moves out later today and the fall chill moves in as early as tonight. I'll have the latest forecast in about 3 minutes.